Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is May the 8th, late evening here in the United States. It's the middle of the night there in Ukraine and Russia. We know that all the hoopla has happened today in regard to Xi Jinping and others, but just a little while ago, there was a phone call from Donald Trump to Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, I'm going to share with you the results of that call. And in addition to that, I'm going to give you not the political response from Ukraine, but I'm going to give you the real response from Ukraine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, commenting, liking, because this is the only way we continue to get the truth out, and you are deeply appreciated. I have received many messages today, phone calls, asking, Greg, what is going on? It's like there's no news. It's like dead silent. Are they still fighting? Are their missiles going? The answer to all of those questions is yes, but information being very quiet right now, especially out of the Russian side, because they are trying just to make it through that victory parade. Yes, a lot of Russia right now forcibly down with their internet connections and other media trying to make it through. Yes, international leaders have arrived like Vucic, also Xi Jinping, who had the great meetings today, the 7 hours that we covered in the earlier video. Now, breaking is that Trump called Zelensky and they had a phone call. So I want you to understand exactly what happened. I'm calling it the call. Of course, Putin will be looking to see what they talked about and to try to figure it out. But let's just go straight to the sources first. I'm going to show you Trump. I'm going to show you Zelensky, but then I'm going to give you the Ukrainian analysis and the real response from Ukraine. Here you go. The first one, Trump-Zelensky call. This is from Donald Trump. Talks with Russia, Ukraine continue. The U.S. calls for ideally a 30-day unconditional ceasefire, which Ukraine already agreed to. Hopefully an acceptable ceasefire will be observed, and both countries will be held accountable for respecting the sanctity of these direct negotiations. If the ceasefire is not respected, what ceasefire? Ukraine has offered a ceasefire for 60 days. I don't want to start analyzing yet, but what ceasefire? The 3-day shashlik truce from Putin? I'll continue. The U.S. and its partners will impose further sanctions. Thousands of young soldiers are dying on a weekly basis, and everybody should want it to stop, in all caps. And of course, you see the videos. I'm not going to discuss you with the videos. 5,000 a week, body parts laying everywhere, bullets flying for miles. I do, and the United States of America does also. As president, I will stay committed to securing peace between Russia and Ukraine together with the Europeans, and a lasting peace it will be. Doesn't know what he's talking about. This ceasefire must ultimately build toward a peace agreement. If it can all be done very quickly, and I will be available. Listen, I will be available on a moment's notice if my services are needed. Read between the lines, ladies and gentlemen. I will be available on a moment's notice if my services are needed. Don't think they're needed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, Zelensky officially replies, good conversation with Trump. We welcome the ratification of the agreement on economic partnership. They were talking about the mineral deal, a historic document. Yes, we discussed the need for concrete steps for the sake of peace. Trump asked about the situation on the battlefield. Zelensky said, I briefed him. That is good news. Ukraine is ready for a 30-day ceasefire even today. So you may ask, are they fighting today? Yes, they're fighting. Both sides are fighting right now. In fact, I can show you this, and this is why it's so interesting and so strange. Right now, if I go here, why can't I get to that? This one. There we go. If I go right here, you can see Sumy region is under air alarm right now. So it's crazy what is actually happening or not happening. They're fighting. People have been killed today, wounded, civilians hit. Zelensky continues, Ukraine is ready for a 30-day ceasefire even today. We are waiting for an agreement from Russia. Ukraine is ready for negotiations in any format, but Russia must show seriousness of intentions. Trump confirmed that he wants to end the war and is ready to help. That's the politically correct answer. Now, what is Ukraine really saying? Here's the real response. Number one, Trump talks about sanctions for violating the ceasefire, but there is no ceasefire yet. Exactly. Maybe he means today's Putin's shashlik ceasefire. And if you're here and you do not understand what that means, shashlik, it's outdoor barbecue. You have You make it in the fire. It's wonderful meat, but it's just like the picnic. It's the festival. It's the Victory Day parade. They're calling it a shashlik. It's ceasefire. It's funny. Okay. The Putin shashlik ceasefire. Maybe he's referring to that. Maybe that's why Trump asked about the situation on the battlefield. Well, Russia has not ceased fire. Does that mean there will be sanctions on Russia? It's not clear. Number two, Trump, like Vance, is clearly pushing Ukraine towards bilateral negotiations with Russia. Zelensky is not against it if Russia demonstrates seriousness. But A, Russia does not demonstrate seriousness, does not even cease fire during its shashlik truce, and nobody in the world is talking about it. They're fighting. B, what will be the subject of negotiations? Really? Vance made it clear that Russia's demands for territories are unacceptable. What could the negotiations be about then? Kellogg's 30-kilometer buffer zone and everybody back up? Not going to happen. How to monitor the ceasefire? What ceasefire? Nothing is clear. This is the real Ukrainian response. Second, be warned about real steps towards capitulation. There are only two possible scenarios. Number one, Ukrainian society once again believes in the possibility of a long-term truce with Russia, which they never will, swallows the capitulation, which will be called a ceasefire, and in a couple of years, Ukraine disappears from the political map. This is what they're really talking about, guys. And number two, Ukrainians stand against capitulation, resulting in the fact that we are all in for our nation, and the war continues with greater efficiency and on to victory for Ukraine, which we all believe in.
Slava Ukraini!
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly where we're at. That is the latest. It is dead silent. But that is what is happening. The war is continuing. It is raging, and everything's quiet. Tomorrow, we'll see what happens. In an hour, we'll see what happens. But right now, that's the result on the Trump-Zelensky call and the real view from Ukraine. Be blessed, and we'll be back. Make sure you have that notification bell on, and thank you for your subscription. Be blessed.